She went to jail, the photographer went to jail, and 4 hours later came an attorney and got her out. Then came Jean-Claude Van Damme. He drove on the top on Route 66 and Andy Devine Road on the top here, 110 miles an hour. And he went to jail for one night because it was a Sunday, and on Sunday there is no judge. So he waited till Monday, and then he paid $1,500 fine. And 2 weeks he cleaned the street with a shovel and a broom called community service. He was making a movie called Universal Soldier on the way to Otman. Otman is the next town and 26 miles away from here. Amazing ride for motorcycle classic cars. 192 turns like this to make it there. And at 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock there's shoot up on the street like the Old West. It also have donkeys, and the donkeys are originally from the original miner used to use the donkeys to bring the gold and the dirt. And they left 2 of them, and today there's donkeys on the street. You can feed them from your hand. And at 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the afternoon there's shoot up on the street. Jean-Claude Van Damme was making a movie called Universal Soldier on the way to Otman, and he was actually arrested in this town. This guy, Clark Gable, was actually married in this town to number 3 wife. Number 3 wife was Karen Lombard. Karen Lombard died in an airplane crash. She was collecting war bonds at that time. The poor man was not that poor because he actually married 5 times. But he went to Otman for his honeymoon, and there was a motel room with his plaque and everything about him. This town has 4 museums. Route 66, Train Museum, Museum of Art, First House Bill. This town is also a museum. Museums here are very expensive. No, $10 for 4 museums. If you're over 60, it's only $6. Less than 12, it's free. Walmart,
I'm 12.
open till 11 o'clock at night. Each one of this number is a different restaurant. Kingman have only 87 restaurants, 87 bars, and 87 churches. Obviously, I've been to all of them. But 87 churches, 87 bars, and 87 restaurants. Restaurant that we like. So there's a steakhouse bar restaurant. You can actually walk to it. About $25 to $35 for a good steak. $12 for a hamburger, big large TV, pool table, jukebox, and a big huge bar. A walk of 1 block away from here. Second one that we highly recommend it is actually Mr. D. Mr. D is a diner from the 50s. A real diner from the 50s. Mr. D make his own root beer. Oprah Winfrey went there 40 years ago when she was skinny. They continued to fill it up till she left. And now they fill it up for everybody. The prices there are excellent. This is a real diner that have all kind of memorabilia, including classic cars and stuff like this, right across from the museum and the Powerhouse visiting center. There's also a place there where you can actually drive your car or your motorcycle and get a photo of Route 66 with a shield of, okay? The food there is pretty good and the prices are excellent. This is not Las Vegas, New York, or Los Angeles, where you have to bring a suitcase full of money to have food. The restaurant is open from 7 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night.
That's my next stop.
In this area here is all the fast food. They are open till 1 o'clock at night. McDonald's, Burger King, In-N-Out, stuff like this. And we have 2 Dennis restaurants that is open 24 hours, never close. Okay. This we have Bill Street. Bill was a lieutenant in a cavalry who came to this town 1857 with camels, called the Camel Corps. He was kicked out of town because he had camel. This is a horse town, not a camel town. Also because he was a friend of Lincoln, and Lincoln was for abolishing slavery. There was no slave for sale in this town, but this is a white town who wanted slaves to continue at that time, so they kicked him out. Later on, he became General Bill. There is Fort Bill, Air Force Bill in California, Bill Street in Memphis, Bill Street in San Francisco, San Francisco, San Diego, and this Bill Street in our town is the main street in this town, which have 5 bars, 3 microbrewery, pizza place, barbecue place, coffee shop, Italian restaurant, Mexican restaurant, 13 antique shop, and 7 churches. That street here is the main street in the town, which have all of the events, like classic cars, motorcycle. Once a month, on the third weekend of the month, there is here at least about 300 or 400 classic cars, which are just the local. Once a year we have the fun run, which is about 2 months ago on May the 5th or the 6th, which was 860 cars, classic cars. The week before there was about 30,000 motorcycles going to Laughlin for the river run. We also have here all the time all kind of group of classic cars come here. Like about 3 weeks ago there was here the Mini Cooper. There was 250 Mini Coopers in this town. There's Mustangs that come, there is Corvette cars, there's all kind of stuff happening. There's people walking Route 66, there is people driving Route 66. There's actually people on bicycles on Route 66. And they do it for all kind of charity. And we had actually a month ago, we had a guy with a electric bicycle, very fancy one, doing all the way from New York and Route 66 from Chicago to Santa Monica for UNICEF. Actually, they're doing it.
Wow.
We have all kind of stuff happening in this town, but this town historically was very famous because during the Second War there was here 7,000 B-17 airplane. The B-17 is about 8 miles away from here. There's an airport. All the way to here was full of B-17. Women took from here airplane, they delivered them all the way to Europe. They call the WASP. Women
Right.
also build them, Seattle, McDonnell Douglas, and also in the Detroit in the Ford plant. Every hour there was at least one airplane coming out. This was also 45,000 soldiers was stationed in this town. This was a gunner school. People like Charles Bonson, Don Knotts was actually a gunner in this town. Okay, this motel was built by a guy who built the first hotel in Las Vegas, called it Sol Segev. If you take the word Sol Segev and turn it around, Las Vegas backwards, then he come to this place and build this place. He sell it to the Italian people. They call it the Golden Gate, the one in Las Vegas, beginning of the mafia in Las Vegas, and 45 years before even Bugsy Siegel on Fremont Street. Then he come here, build this place. In the Second War, all of this was full of B-17 airplanes, and there was here in this motel, there was here very famous people who stay here. Bob Hope, the Three Stooges, Rita Hayworth, Jeff Charling, Korean War, Marilyn Monroe, James Dean, Elvis Presley. Now you're staying with us, you're famous also. Don't become infamous, I don't have that much money to pull you out of jail. This is for you. E.T. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's for the internet.
Okay.
You go to El Travatore guest and then you type E.T. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or in French, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or in German, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or in Hebrew, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or in Chinese, E.R. San Su Lu, or in Arabic even, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's about the key. We want to give you a key for the room. We have a trick that we do with the key because we want you to put the key in the box outside. Originally, when I came to this place, we had bakelite keys that people stole because there was the name of the place and they took it for souvenirs. So now we actually want you to put it in a box outside. But before we do this, we want to tell you if you know how to say key in any language except English, then you can have this key. So in Spanish is llave, Italian is chiave, German is schlüssel, Dutch is schlüssel, Hebrew is maftechot, Chinese is yosh, Japanese is kagi, French is clay, Russian is kluch, Polish is kluch, Noel is in Denmark. One more for you. This is key in sign language. We tell you all of this so you can remember to put the key in the box outside there. And also we want to tell you two things. One, no smoking in the room of any kind. And the second one, thank you for staying here. You're helping us to survive. So, and you're welcome again. And obviously I understand that you've been here before.
Yes.
So next time, you tell story, not me.